Alright, hello. So this is going to be a redo of that Redux video that I did on Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. And once again, I'm not looking for an excuse to recycle content or anything like that. It's actually because, firstly, we didn't actually get a chance to experience the true ending on camera. And secondly, yeah, apparently the audio kept going back and forth between being muffled and high quality for whatever dumb reason. A few side notes before I actually start this is, well, firstly, I'm going to try and get all pieces of the key to access the Tower of Fate. Secondly, you probably hear my air conditioner in the background. That is because it is stupid hot. You know, it's summertime after all. And thirdly, you may have noticed that you can just see, like, in terms of something that shows up on camera really well, that only my Switch Lite's screen shows up. And that's because I actually have my blinds closed, because when I tried to record footage of Shovel Knight Dig yesterday, which I will get to that eventually as well, not in the same video, another time, the reflection was showing up. It still kind of is showing up. And it made recording footage torture. On top of that, actually, and I hope it doesn't happen today because, well, actually both Dig and Pocket Dungeon require you to move really fast, but my hand actually basically locked up. It was pins and needles, but it transitioned from my fingers to my entire hand to my upper forearm, and whenever that happens, my fingers, hand, and arm, well, forearm, like I said, can't move and are just kind of there. I really hope it doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who play video games a lot or use their hands a lot in general probably know what I'm talking about, but I'm stalling. Let's get to it. Before I actually start this run, I'll go over the characters that I'm familiar with. Probably easy. The obvious is to start pointing out that, yes, Shovel Knight is he's a good starter character, but he's not, he's like a well-rounded character, but he's not actually the best character to start a run with. That would actually be, well, Plague Knight, ironically enough. And also, yeah, there's that magnifying glass. I think it has a name. But if you're playing this on Switch, you can actually activate it by using the right Joy-Con. No, right analog stick, pardon me. I didn't mention the style pile at all in the first version of this video. Well, I did, but I mentioned at the very last moment of the video. Yeah, way to go, moron. I don't think the outfits have any, abilities or effects like they do in any other Shovel Knight game. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to double check that after this video is uploaded. And you actually talk to this guy. You talk to him and you pay, I think it's the same amount of gems each time to unlock outfits in the style pile, which, by the way, I love that name. That is such a clever name. But anyway, other characters I'm familiar with. Puzzle Knight was one of the two characters that was patched in, the other one being Mona. And massive shout out to, and you know who you are if you're watching this, but massive shout out to one of my friends from Discord. The only way you can actually unlock Mona, it's a random chance event. You have to find her by traveling into one of the vortex portal things, whatever, that shows up randomly during a run. You have to play a minigame with her, and only after you beat it do you unlock her as a playable character. Yeah, it's very interesting. Also, and once again, covering just the characters I've played as. I haven't played as everyone so far, so I can't talk about everyone. That wouldn't be fair. Tinker Knight is actually my second favorite, next to Plague Knight. But his gimmick is, after you gather materials, and you actually gather materials by smashing blocks, you can basically transform into like this mech form, and it multiplies the amount of damage that you have, your base damage output. Shield Knight, her gimmick is she can block damage for, I believe, 2 or 3 turns. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's a really interesting gimmick. And I haven't messed around with Random Knight, which transforms you, like, it's not a character, it's more or less a placeholder of sorts. It transforms you into a random knight each run, but I have messed around with Shuffle Knight, not Shovel Knight, Shuffle Knight, and it transforms you into a random knight character each level, which is a very interesting thing. If you are up to that challenge, I recommend it. Currently, he's my least favorite, but I have messed around with King Knight. He's okay. His gimmick is he basically does a Wario Land style shoulder bash attack. Like, it's basically Wario's shoulder bash. And the farther away that you are, the more damage you do, if memory serves. That's also an interesting gimmick. Spectre Knight is interesting in the way that they actually patched in some content specific to him. So his gimmick before the patch, which by the way, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, that the DLC was patched in, and I haven't actually gotten a chance to experience that yet because I have to unlock some more stuff. But prior to the DLC patch, if you were to pick up either Turkey or Potion, he would take damage, what with him being a spirit and everything. But after the patch, they, well, patched in Rotten Potions and Rotten Turkeys, which are, you know, tailored towards him. I'm not really sure what that's for. You can break that and it just turns into a statue of a random character. I think it's supposed to be Game Knight. The other characters I haven't messed around with, there is actually one other thing that I want to show before we get started. It's something that's actually very easy to miss. This right here. It actually gives a lot of more in-depth explanation and lore to the story of this game. And that's a really nice detail, like, especially because it's something that's very easy to miss because you might not know where that hidden alcove of sorts or whatever is, and you have to actively find it yourself. That's a really nice touch. And yes, the ending in of itself is also very touching. And this music track is also very mysterious. But I think that's all I have to cover. Actually, no, wait. Hold on. We'll come back to that later. Hopefully, at least. This is, I promise, the last thing, but you can actually choose which level you want to start from. You choose a level, then you go into the cannon, catapult can, whatever, and he will send you to that level. But I'm going to start from the very start. Let's do this. I do have a general idea as to what relics and accessories and whatever I want to pick up. As I mentioned in the last version of this video, I'm only going to be talking when I have to, like actual important details. So for right now, I'm going to concentrate and shut up. That right there is a growth gem. If you leave it on the field and do not attack it whatsoever, it'll ripen over time and become a really big gem that will give you, well, a lot of gems. I'm going to intentionally zoom in on it so you can see it ripen over time. Now it's turning green. It's turning like a yellowish orange color now, actually. It's getting bigger, like a lavenderish pinkish red color, I guess? There we go. Also, I'm pretty sure you can hear my watch in the background, but there we go. That is what you want. You don't want to attack them immediately. Always let them ripen if possible. Clear. Nice. Chester's shop does not spawn in the Plains of Passage. It always spawns afterwards. So the very first place that you're going to see it is Pridemore Keep. It should be appearing shortly. Also, there's a growth gem. Yep, there it is. What do you have, Chester? Nothing of interest, so I can just save up my gems for something that's more important. That would be a secret area. Yep, secret area. The easiest way to tell if that's a secret area is typically blocks that have secret areas, they're always different color from every other block. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure that's a dirt block. Dirt blocks are a lot more common in this area, but right now you can only see just one, I think. I'm pretty sure there's just one on screen. No, there's one over there, but you get the idea. Very easiest spot. Oh, I've never actually seen a room with this kind of layout. Okay. I ain't complaining. I don't think I've ever encountered this kind of room before in general, come to think of it. That's the thing with the game being randomly generated. You never know what you're gonna get when you go into a secret room. And also, yes, occasionally bombs will appear from treasure chests instead of an item. I'm trying to get an all clear, that's why I'm not going to the exit right now. I typically try to do that if, you know, if something like, say, that happens, in which the dead zone comes to crush me, which, yeah, that's what it's called. And, like, say it's really, really low, I end up wasting time? Crap! Yeah, like, I tend to book it in instances like that. The reason why I was kind of freaking out there is because while Plague Knight is resistant to any instance of poison damage, he's not naturally resistant to bomb explosions. That requires that you have an item called the Bomb Seed Bag, which is one of my favorite items in the game because it's actually keys for that. Because when you couple it with a few other of my favorite items, like there's one that lets you walk over hazards, for instance, you're pretty much basically invincible. I kind of stopped there because there were other items, but I can't remember them all off the top of my head right now. If I come across them during this run, I will point them out. good so far. I am trying my best not to open any of these chests at all. Because I need 3 keys for that shrine area, which, by the way, that was the area that you just saw me go into and come right out of. Yeah, the thing with the shrine, with the very first shrine room, this is always the case with the first one. It requires you to have 3 keys on you. I repeat, it's only the case with the first shrine area. Later shrine areas require you to sacrifice an amount of gems or an amount of your base health, but none of them require keys. Please keep that in mind, because I'm pretty sure it'll be confusing to a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are probably going to ask if I don't point it out, and also set off that bomb. There's the exits, but I don't want to go in there yet. There's the growth gem. Yes, alright. This is pretty much almost always the case. You have a choice between 2 items, you can only pick one. I say almost always because in some other common instances, the shrine will have 6 growth gems behind it. I showed you what a growth gem was earlier. In fact, I'm pretty much almost right next to one. Well, realistically, it's, you know, it's on top of me, but you know what I mean. I kind of have to break it. I couldn't get around any other way. Sorry. I'm apologizing to a gem. It's an inanimate object, dude. What are you doing? Out of the way. Crap. Yeah, this is kind of one of those instances that I was talking about earlier. Also, yeah. You can do that? Crap. That is a really tight squeeze. Oh, that was scary. But yeah, if you keep on spending keys on chests or opening up treasure shop, whatever, and opening up treasure chest and Chester's shop instead of actually going to the exit, it's always going to spawn another key for you to use on the exit door, which I think is a really cool touch. It's basically the game's way of saying, dude, what are you doing? Get out of here. I don't know why I just like that. Also, Spectre Knight, he's going to just throw around his, I almost said lance, his scythe. And then he's going to summon a group of enemies. Something that I do like to do whenever I'm playing Pocket Dungeon off camera. Sorry if I'm pausing, it's just I'm trying to avoid getting hit by his attacks here because they do a considerable amount of damage. What I was saying is, I like to grind. This is the case for any boss that does this, which pretty much all of them do. Whenever a boss summons like a huge army of enemies, what I like to do is just, well, at least up until the game realizes that you're exploiting it, what I like to do is just grind for gems from all of the enemies on screen. Or all of the enemies and all of the blocks on screen if you have the item that allows you to find gems and blocks. Which hopefully we get that from Chester's shop right here. Pardon me. And also this. Super Skeleton Key. Amazing item. It's not very useful now because if, and you can, you know, if you're lucky, you know, with the RNG and all that, if you get it early on before you access that first shrine area, it does apply. You can use it there. It's not so much useful now. But yeah, this is the item that I was just talking about. You can find gems and blocks. And if you combine that with getting gems from enemies during boss fights, you'll be rich for pretty much a majority of the run if you know what you're doing. This is also an interesting item in the context of, because the game actually starts you off on having infinite lives if memory serves, you can kind of use this as a little bit of a, I guess I'd still call it an exploit of sorts. And it prevents you from having to worry about, like, whenever you die, like, you can still die even though you have, you know, like, I said, you have infinite lives. it'll just prevent you from having to worry about respawning. Like, you'll basically be revived instantly on the spot where you died. It's an interesting strategy. And I think I'm gonna do it. It can be quite useful, especially on the final boss, and especially on the true final bosses, which, again, because we didn't see those last time. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see the true final bosses. Gotta be real careful, because those guys do chain explode. Yep, see? Also, really nice detail. Yeah, really nice detail is that it might be kind of hard to see, but after you get that item, you can actually see gems poking out of blocks. Oh, I can't do that to one. Can't do that to that one because I thought I had an item that I do like using. It's an item that allows you to break any kind of block. But what I was trying to say is the really nice detail of how, oh, except for those kind of blocks. I like the detail of how blocks have gems poking out of them. Pardon me. Yeah, like right there, for instance. Actually, you know what? I completely forgot about that. If I have enough gems, I might go and snag the super skeleton key. Because one other thing it does is it leaves a plus-shaped explosion, or not explosion, attack that goes in all 4 directions, and that can be really useful because of its attacking yeah, I think I'm gonna go and get that real quick. I have enough gems, those. No, I don't. Let me see if I can get enough gems before I have to leave the area. Real careful, because again, those guys explode. Crap. Yeah, it's getting pretty chaotic in here. Also, as you may have noticed, explosions actually cause enemies and blocks and whatnot to be shuffled around a little bit, which is a really cool, I was gonna say really cool touch, but I've always said that a lot, but it's really useful for puzzle solving, I do have to admit, and, you know, that makes sense considering that this is a puzzle game after all, but, yeah, it's pretty cool. Careful. Yes! Thanks a lot, game. Gave me a bomb. Yes! Okay. Alright. Hopefully I get a chance to show that off. But yes, I completely spaced on that. I was talking about how useless the super skeleton key was, but whenever you pick up a key, like a normal key, which, by the way, they will show up, they'll appear with a more... It's probably not showing up that well because the screen's kind of really bright, but they have like this metallic rose color to them, I guess. And when you pick them up, you actually end up dealing damage in all 4 directions. It's really useful because it has an attacking property now. Like, picking up keys actually has a purpose now, aside from just opening chests. Also, the underdog collar right there. It's never one of my favorite items. I'm pretty sure it was patched in. But what it does is, when you're surrounded, that actually increases the amount of damage you deal, which is a really interesting strategy in and of itself, because when you're surrounded, and you're, like, really in a pinch, you can get out of a pinch just by dealing, like, just by exploiting that damage multiplier, basically. Also, Graps. Graps are enemies that are interesting in the way that you can't deal damage to their segments. That just deals damage to yourself. Instead, you have to attack their eye. That is the only way to damage them or kill them or whatever. These rooms. Okay, I do have to be quiet because I have to focus. This is a very... I'm not gonna like this. Yeah, sorry if you just saw me going up and down, but the reason I was doing that is because those lava puddles take a long time to actually go away. And they deal a lot of damage if you step on them. That's actually why I really hope I get the Nimbus Balloon, because the Nimbus Balloon prevents you from taking any damage from any hazard whatsoever. I really hope I get that thing soon. And also, stupid me, I've been holding on to this thing. I forget its name, and I can't currently view its name because it's in my inventory. But this relic, I think it's a relic at least, is interesting in the way that it allows you to get rid of every single one of a specific type of enemy. I'm going to use it on... I have a track here. Sorry, I was just kind of reading the enemy's name. I know it's useless considering that's one of the weakest enemies in the game, but I'm just demonstrating it, so I don't really care. Press A. Boom. It's really useful for clearing out an area. Bye, Graps. I said bye, Graps. Also, you do get gems by opening a treasure chest. I forgot to point that out. I didn't... Yes, I didn't crap. But no, I didn't mention those gems earlier, the ones that deal fire and ice damage respectively, because I don't think they're that important to point out. I feel like they're kind of self-explanatory. At least I got the underdog collar. I'm gonna snag that. I'm gonna snag the gems from that chest real quick. Pardon me. So this place is really awesome for grinding for gems, because those gem golden things... What's your name? Crab sort of things? Yeah, they're like crystal crab things. They yield a good amount of gems. Shrine room? Yeah, shrine room. They yield a good amount of gems, and especially if you plan... Yeah, they're the 6 growth gems that I alluded to earlier. What I was trying to say is, if you attack and kill a lot of crab stools in this area, yeah, you can basically farm a lot of gems. Like, that's on top of getting all clears like I tend to do. And that's also on top of, you know, having the item that lets you get gems from blocks. Like, I'm basically swimming in gems here. In fact, what's my total? Oh, wow. Sorry I didn't actually mention what the total was. Yeah. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned this on camera before or on YouTube or whatever, but I kind of always sucked at math, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. If anything, it's kind of hilarious. This balloon, I really want that. Crap, I really hope I get enough gems. And, you know, like I said, with this being basically Gem City, I probably will be able to get that before we leave. But yeah, like, I was always really bad at math, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when I say that. Just wanted to point that out real quick. Sorry for going off topic there. Yep, there's the exit. Gotta be careful, because I don't want to accidentally go into the exit door. Growth gem right there. Yes, dead zone. I know you're trying to crush me. All right. Yes! Nice. What else is in here? Nothing else that I really need, so yeah, I'm good. Actually, I'm gonna... No, wait. I can't risk that. What I was going to do was snag that shield item right there, and then immediately snag the... I think that's called the energy orb or whatever. Because if there's an item that you prefer over another, you can just leave the other one there to disappear on the spot if you have to clear out space to get to something else. Also, hi, Mole Knight. Actually, good time to point this out, but the Nimbus Balloon makes the Mole Knight fight a lot easier because he can have this enemy he'll have that thing spawn and it'll basically shoot a lot of lava puddles everywhere, and if you have the Nimbus Bloom like I do, you don't have to worry about taking damage. Well, you do have to worry about taking damage from attacking Mole Knight himself, but you know what I mean. Hazard damage is just not a problem anymore for me. If you have the Nimbus Balloon, it probably won't be a problem for you either. No, it shouldn't, you know what I mean. Sorry, getting my words mixed up here. Really sorry. I get a chance to talk about... No, I won't. I was going to point out that the Nimbus Balloon also applies to conveyor belts. They don't affect you because for some reason they're counted as hazards. Also, I can feel my my forearm kind of falling asleep there, like I mentioned earlier. I hope that wouldn't happen, but oh well. But yeah, for some reason conveyor belts are counted as hazards. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, I get that they can be hazardous in the way that they can move you towards, like, well, an explosion or something, but, like, it's interesting because... And I'm not complaining anything, like, I just find it really interesting. But what I'm trying to get to... Hold on. What I'm trying to get to is they won't hinder your movement anymore, which is awesome. I really hope I get the bomb seed bag. What are you? Oh, flame axe. Never mind. You're going to see me do that a lot, by the way, just opening chests, like, just to get the gems from them. Especially if I have a relic that I really want. Sorry, my hand's shaking a lot. I'm actually kind of close. I really want that. That's awesome. Yeah, the reason why that thing is actually a really big deal is because of how much you can exploit it. You can exploit a lot of bosses and stuff like that. I'm really gonna hold on to that. I hope I find another one. What was I saying earlier? I can't remember. Yeah, I get that distracted. Go figure. Oh wait, now I remember. But no, I actually have a lot of pieces to the puzzle that is my strategy. I'm kind of almost invincible, actually. Like, I can resist pretty much any kind of damage right now. Don't want that. Yeah, the reason why I don't want the Fizzle one is because, yeah, it leaves an awesome damage-dealing fire trail behind you. But it also kind of melts potions, and you don't want that. Alright. Nope, over there. Bomb seed bag. I'm gonna put my Switch all the way down on my bed instead of having to hold it up. I have to because, like I said, my hand is kind of acting up. So let me just readjust the camera angle slightly. Again, really sorry if that's really awkward. It's the best I can do. Did not expect my hand to fall asleep like that. Never understood why those enemies are called spin wolves. And also, yeah, I'm taking no damage from explosions. I'm pretty much invincible right now, actually. The only thing that could realistically kill me is the dead zone. But yeah, I can tank explosions and not have to worry about anything. Also, no, I forgot. No! I can still take damage from being frozen. But no, like, I'm otherwise pretty much invincible at this point in the game. That growth gem, but I don't think I'll have enough time to get it because dead zone is probably going to spawn soon. I don't know. Yep. It's probably gonna happen. I said yep because I thought I saw it, but no, yep, there it goes. No, get out of there. What's in here? I was hoping the Conjuring cupcake would be in there. Which, yeah, there's like this cupcake item thing that actually turns blocks into like these really adorable cupcake things. I'm laughing because the designs for them are perfect. I have to pause to talk about this real quick, but like for example, if I got the item before I went to the stranded ship, the blocks that are normally covered in snow or ice, whatever, they'd be covered with whipped cream. The ones that are normally bomb blocks would have either a cherry complete with a stem on top, or a blueberry on top. Like, it's just an adorable little detail that you really do have to appreciate. Anyway, back to the game. We almost have every piece of the, I think this is actually the last piece of the key that we're about to get. Yep. As soon as you go near this door, yeah, you have to fight the Shrine Keeper. He is a boss. Or more like a mid-boss, I guess. No, you can't earn gems from the enemies that you kill in here, by the way. But yeah. And here's the final piece of the key, which means we have access to the final level of the game. We're going to be able to see the true final bosses and the ending of the game, which is awesome. Put myself in danger because I can. Oh, assuming that it spawns here, which I don't think it will, there's going to be like this fan propeller thing, and it's going to push enemies and you and pretty much anything aside, like either to the left or the right, whatever. It's still going to affect you even if you have the Nimbus balloon. It's kind of important that I point it out before anyone asks, because I'm pretty sure people are curious. In case you're wondering why I'm holding on to that, it's because I'm going to try and use it for the final boss, the true final bosses, if possible. that item that actually increases the amount of health restored by 1 when using a potion. Which is nice. Prison Knight. She is interesting. She can duplicate herself, which is what she just did. Also, I'm going for those 4 growth gems there in her boss arena real quick. And also, despite the fact that she's not the final boss or even the true final boss, her attacks are brutal. Do not let her attack while she has those duplicates out. Her attacks, even when she doesn't clone herself, are already brutal, but good lord. Like, are you seeing this? She does a really great job of tracking you. Even when she's by herself, and then she's going to attack you with, I'm pretty sure at least that was like a laser beam attack or something. This one though, did you see that? Like that pattern is brutal. Do not let her attack you. Like, her attacks deal a lot of damage. Although she is nothing compared to the actual final bosses of the game. First the final boss, normal final boss, I mean. So happy I got the Nimbus Balloon because those lava puddles are no problem to me. They're no threat to me at all now. Like I said, I'm basically invincible. What would be in here? Oh. Okay, game. It's just offering me another one of... You know what? What is that called? Nope, not the enemy. I think that's called the common coin. Whatever. It's hard for me to tell because the screen's kind of bright. But no, thankfully I can stack that. Yes, you can stack relics in this game as opposed to having to worry about refilling how many times you use a certain relic. Yeah, you can actually stack them, which is pretty cool. Shovel Knight would actually do this later on, in case you're wondering. Where am I? There I am. Couldn't find myself for a minute there. That's basically a less powerful version of the Nimbus Balloon. Because it's not permanent. It lets you avoid hazards for a few turns. And like, yeah, you can stack it, but let's be honest, Nimbus Balloon is universes better in every single way. There's the Conjuring Cupcake. I think that's the last item that I need to be considered quote-unquote invincible at this point. I can't take damage from explosions or hazards. I can still take damage from the dead zone or normal attacks or being frozen or whatever, but in pretty much every other department, I'm basically invincible, like I said. Yeah, we're fighting Puzzle Knight. Starting things off, he's going to have like a scepter of sorts that protects him from any form of damage. Take it out before actually attacking him directly. And I'm not going to kill him immediately because... if he's willing to pull it off, at least. Not pull it off. He's willing to do this move, I guess. Come on. I know you're gonna do it. Come on. All you're doing is giving me more time to exploit the game. Alright, fine. You don't want to be interesting. I was going to show that he can actually just get his scepter thing, whatever, back. Yep, there's the key. We are going to the Tower of Fate. The most difficult level in the entire game. Not kidding. And also I have to point this out because I can finally show it to you guys. But yeah, it's a really... no, go back. It's a really cute detail. Oh, it's awesome. Especially on the bomb block. Like, instead of having a bomb icon on the top, there's like a little cherry complete with a little stem on the top. Oh, it's a nice little detail. I'm sorry. And there's unique designs for every type of block, too. That's awesome. And also, yes, the cupcake blocks don't just restore your health, but they can actually it can actually stack with the effect of the I forgot its name. The item that lets you get gems from blocks. So yeah, it's really awesome. I think that's just called Graps. Lava Pedal. It's like a more powerful version. I don't know what to say there for a minute. Of Graps. It's like a palette. It's just a palette swap. Also, why are there still secret areas in here? We're at the final level, guys. Where am I? Oh, there I am. That always happens when I get into these small areas. I always have a hard time locating myself. I don't know why. It's a very common thing, though, so expect that whenever I go into these secret areas. You. And yeah, you are seeing this correctly. The tougher enemies spawn in a lot more frequently, not just normal enemies. There's nothing else I can really say because, like, there's no other way, like... oh, great. Hold on. Now I have to wait for the dead zone. Unless, can I get rid of the block this way? No. The reason why I was testing that is because... and I'd be able to show it myself if I didn't get the super skeleton key. But if you have no key, and you repeatedly attack... Crap, this is looking really, really grim, actually. Oh, yes, there we go. But if you attack a treasure chest, or even Chester's shop, when you have no key on you, you can actually destroy it. It's really, really unfortunate if you happen to do that to Chester's shop. Like, especially if he just so happens to... I mean, I'll go in here, but I don't think there's anything of interest. I guess that might be an interesting idea. But yeah, that's kind of a good example of that, actually. If he happens to have... get out of there. Happens to have an interesting item, and you accidentally or intentionally, whatever, somehow destroy his shop, well, that's kind of on you. Like, you won't be able to find out what he's selling. We're fighting the Enchantress, who is not a joke in the slightest. Remember Prison Knight's attacks and how brutal they were? Well, the Enchantress's attacks are even more so. This is actually the reason why I intentionally got the Conjuring Cupcake, because with how many blocks appear when she's on screen, you'll be able to recover more health. Like, couple that with the potions that are on screen right now. Yeah, you want to make sure that you stay alive as much as possible. And also, this attack in particular is really grossly excessive, and that's not even the only variation of it either. The patterns get more and more complex, and they are very tricky to avoid. I've even had a lot of instances in which I can't avoid them, because if I'm not mistaken, that attack in particular, its patterns are randomly generated, and there are going to be instances in which you're just going to have to tank the damage. Yeah, see, I'm taking a lot of hits right here. Crap. I'm not all that worried considering that I have the Phoenix Feather. Crap, this is a really tough fight, let me tell you. Especially because she's a coward. Every time you attack her, she just jumps from one area to another, and it's really annoying. But she was the first true final boss, and now you have to fight the Mastermind! And the reason why I stocked up on that item is because this is the easiest way to kill the true final boss, or any boss really. Just exploit that. Just exploit that. And the boss is, like any boss in the game, is no joke. And that is probably, if not obviously, the most difficult boss fight in the whole game. And I know you guys didn't get a chance to see any of its attacks. But to be fair, to be honest, rather, they're more or less just uber versions of the Enchantress's attacks, so you're not really missing much, actually. Like, for example, you saw that horizontal and vertical beam attack that she did. The Mastermind can do that as well, but it's just bigger. Look at all of that glorious treasure, dude. I also really like how it shows you everything. If you got all the pieces of the key or whatever, and all the accessories and relics that you got on your journey, all the totals. It's a really nice detail. The game wants you to feel proud of yourself, basically. But yeah, while I have completed the game on camera, I have not shown the true ending before, if memory serves. I'm going to actually skip the credits because I want to cut to the ending right now. It's a very touching story, and it's got a very heartwarming and touching ending as well. So, actual final thoughts on this game, because, like I said, I can't remember showing the actual true ending on camera, but I was very, very surprised and impressed at how much they incorporated a very gripping and touching story into a puzzle game of all things. It could have easily been just a Tetris clone or whatever, but no, like, a puzzle game that has an emphasis on strategy and combat, and like I said, has a really gripping story with a very touching ending. That's just amazing. One last thing that I want to point out is how beautiful this scene is. Like, not just from a story perspective, but like the visuals are gorgeous. I'm pretty sure those are cherry blossoms right there, for instance. Those look beautiful. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. And thank you so much for watching, all of you. And this is Sir Bop-A-Lot, signing out.